people. Welcome back to Well with Mika, where we talk real wellness for your real life. I'm Mika, your cultural wellness ally, and today we're going to start a little different. I want to paint a little picture for you, okay? Come with me for a second. Imagine that you are walking barefoot down the beach. You're feeling the warm sand between your toes. Then you look out and you see that beautiful ocean that just seems to go on forever, right? And it's perfect. It's that blue-green shade, that make you feel all nice and you forget everything for a minute, right? You're hearing the rhythm of the crashing of the waves. It's like music to your ears. The sun just warm on your shoulders. Then you take in that deep breath. You smelling that nice salt water, fresh air, and it's just feeling good, and your whole body just wants to melt into just complete relaxation. That feel good, right? I know you feel that. That feel like paradise. Then as you keep walking, you look down, and all of a sudden that sand that was feeling so nice, you walk in and then, damn it, something sticky on your foot. You hoping it's a nice shell you're about to collect, but nope. It's a plastic bottle cap. Then you keep walking and what the hell is what? Now you got some grocery bags just like blowing in the wind, like some twisted jellyfish all holy and lanky and just looking crazy. And that fish, because you're going to order some fish from that cafe by the beach, right? The one that you thought was so healthy. And guess what's swimming in that fish? Tiny plastic particles. And guess where those tiny plastic particles now? Yep, you guessed it, swimming right in you. So now there goes your paradise. Your paradise is now a plastic paradise, right? Or a plastic nightmare. Now, here's where the story takes a little bit of a turn. Because scientists have also discovered something that should, I don't know if to say terrify us, but definitely make us pause. I would be terrified, but look, you're not me, I'm not you, so hey, it's up to you how you feel. But they found that those same plastic particles, the ones from like the sandwich bags, the water bottles, the plastic bags, the stuff that we touch every single day, they're found in human brain tissue. We're not talking about our blood, our organs, we're talking about our brains, okay? Now look, I know what you're thinking. Great, there's another something to worry about. And trust me, I did not wake up planning to tell you that your brain is basically a Tupperware container. But look, here we are, right? Here we are, so we have to deal with where we are. According to this study reported in Medscape, researchers found plastic polymers in the brains of people who had died of neurological diseases. Now, granted, we don't know yet if it's causation. We don't know if the plastics cause those diseases, but we do know that these particles, they can cross the blood-brain barrier. Try saying that 50 times fast. But they cross the blood-brain barrier. That means the stuff that we thought was just environmental is showing up in our most protected, most vital organs, okay? They're showing up in our environment, So it raises these big questions. What does this mean for brain health, your memory, your mood? Could it be linked to dementia, to Parkinson's or other conditions? And if plastic is in the brain, where else is it accumulated? We have to ask those questions, right? Because this connects with research from Shanna Swan's book, Countdown, which I read a few years back and I started it again to refresh. But what she's basically talking about is, plastics, especially phthalates, a common additive, and how they're linked to fall in sperm count, earlier puberty in girls, and hormonal disruptions that affect fertility and reproductive health. So the plastics, they're not just out there floating in the ocean. They're already in us, shaping our bodies, our hormones, even potentially our children's futures, and we have to consider this. There's this concept in science called One Health, right? So One Health, what it does is it recognizes that human health, animal health, and environmental health are all connected, right? Surprise, surprise. You can't separate them. And plastic pollution is the perfect example of why this matters. Think of Earth like your house, okay? You ain't gonna dump trash all in your living room and expect to feel good, right? Well, surprise, we're all living in this same house, and that plastic bottle you just tossed it just became it just became your roommate, like your forever roommate. So I want us to zoom out just for a bit and see how this plays out. In our oceans, we're talking 8 to 12 million tons, okay? Tons of plastic entering the ocean every year. Sea turtles, they mistake plastic bags for jellyfish. Whales, they washing ashore with stomachs full of plastic. It's nasty. It ain't right. And then in our ecosystem, as plastics break down, they don't disappear. They turn into microplastics that the fish eat. Guess who's eating these fish? Look in the mirror, boo. Yep, you. Then us. We eat the fish, okay? Then this cycle just comes full circle. Then in our future, you know those pretty turquoise waters in the Caribbean or the Pacific, you know those IG photos you love, that vacation you want to take so you could post, you know? They ain't gonna stay pristine if all this plastic keeps piling up. It's not just about a climate issue, it's a lifestyle and quality of life issue. So whether it's your brain, your hormones, or your future travel plans, look, plastics are personal. I can't tell you how many times when I mentioned these things in the past, people would say, I don't care about no polar bears. I don't care about climate change. How we know it's real? Look, it's not just about those things. It's about how it's affecting you. Like we're all connected, like it or not. You might think you're so removed from the animals, from the ocean, but you're not. This is one system. We all live here on planet Earth. It's an ecosystem. So we have to understand that these things are connected. It's circular. It's not linear. Okay? So then we have to deal with the myth of convenience because there's a hard truth that we have to face. Plastics are largely a byproduct of convenience. Plastic water bottles, takeout containers, disposable bags, they're easy in the moment but costly long term. And we've all been there. I've been there, you know, going on a trip. Crap, I forgot my water bottle. Let me go buy a couple of a case of water in the plastic bottle, right? So, you know, I get it. But apparently our brains our brains don't get it. They keeping the score this whole time and they ain't happy. They're like, "Yo, could y'all chill? Please stop. I don't want this." And this doesn't mean you have to live zero waste overnight, but it does mean we cannot ignore the trade-off anymore. So what can we actually do? Besides panic texting or panic posting about brains and plastic, actually there's quite a bit that we could try out. Number one, let's audit our plastics, all right? Notice the top 2 to 3 biggest sources, whether it's water bottles, Ziploc bags, food packaging. Check yourself, check your purchasing, your consumer habits, and see what you can do to limit your plastic, your single-use plastics, right? Then number 2, swap one thing. Try reusable water bottles, use the beeswax wraps or glass containers. You know, start small. Then number 3, I want you to push for systemic change. Individual actions matter, okay? But policies, they matter too. So support the bans on single-use plastics. I know. You're like, but it's so easy. I get it. But guess what? We know easy is not always great long term. So we're going to support those bans on single-use plastics, okay? Then I want you to stay curious, okay? Number 4, stay curious. Ask your doctor, what do we know about plastics and health? These conversations, they push the science forward. I'm not saying the doctor's going to have answers. Odds are they might not. But it will get them thinking at the least, you know. It might get them to question certain things when they see certain things happening in their practice. Maybe they'll think back to that question. Maybe they'll do more research, dig a little deeper. So, you know, it's not a foolish question. Just be curious. You know, encourage your doctor to stay curious. Number 5, think net positive. Every small action has ripple effects, okay? Why not choose the option that's better for you and the planet? There's nothing harmful in that. So in closing, yes, I know we cannot control everything in our environment, but we can start from where we are. In our homes, with our choices and our voices, we can do something from where we are. Plastic in the brain might sound like a sci-fi movie, sound like a sci-fi headline, but it's real, it's now, and it's a reminder that our health and our environment, they're deeply connected. So the One Health concept, it isn't just, scientific jargon language, it's real. It's the reality that we're living in. So just forget the polar bears for a second, just a second. We love them and everything, but just forget them for a second. And let's talk about your brain, your actual thinking, dreaming, remembering brain, the brains of your kids. And the fact that taking care of our planet is actually the ultimate act of self-care, the ultimate act of love, okay? So once again, thank you as always for joining me on Well with Mika. I hope and pray that this episode hit home. If it did, please share it with someone, share it with a friend, share it with a coworker, share it with a family member, share it with whoever, okay? Because we can't afford to ignore this one, all right? And until next time, as always, take care of your body, your mind, and of course, our planet. Happy health in everyone. Peace.